Oh, right. I'm sorry I haven't been talking. I've just been kind of sitting here writing and doing a lot of pensive thinking. You've probably been watching these videos being very bored, just watching me drink water and not talk. But especially my last video, because I was like crying and stuff, that's because I was writing an email. And it was to someone who is kind of important. It's to the head of the David Lynch Foundation. His name is Bob Roth. And so he was asking for pictures of our meditation space. And I had written him once, and I kind of wasn't. I had talked about my meditation space, but I hadn't really talked about my meditation practice or like why I meditate. And so I sent him a second email. I wasn't going to send him a second email, but I had kind of cleaned up my space a little bit. And I had washed my sheets and stuff, and so I was kind of proud of myself that I had kind of cleaned my space. And so I was feeling sort of proud of myself. So I felt like I had something to say about it. So I sort of talked to him about that. And so, but I wanted to talk to him about how hard it was for me to learn TM, and how I've been on this long healing journey, because I have delusions about David Lynch. And so, it's very complicated for me to be in the Transcendental Meditation movement, because here's this thing that's supposed to be like really amazing for me, and it is really amazing for me. The practice has done so much for my life and helped me so much, but it's in this world with a person who I have delusions about. And so I have to really limit what access I give myself to the community in which there are a lot of people, because it always circles back around to David Lynch. And so it's very difficult, because they make him out to be like this guru type person, that he's always talking about transcendental meditation, always spreading the word of transcendental meditation. And I'm just always inundated with David Lynch. I tried as hard as I could to just not see him so much. The only reason why I learned, and I said this before, is because of Russell Brand. Like, that was like the big thing that just like put me over the edge, because I kept seeing interviews with Russell Brand about why transcendental meditation was so good, and why Russell Brand, because he has bipolar disorder, and I have bipolar disorder, and he said that he was able to control his bipolar disorder a lot better when he learned transcendental meditation. And so for me, who was having trouble regulating my emotions, learning a meditative practice to regulate my emotions, and honestly, after I learned, it got so much easier. The ability to regulate my emotions has, like, to be I've always been good about articulating my emotions and what I was feeling. Like, I've always had kind of an emotional intelligence that has been to my benefit. And like, even when I wrote my books, David Lynch is After Me, and like all of my poetry books, I have always shown that I have a mental and emotional intelligence about being able to articulate what I'm thinking and feeling at any given time, and like trying, like, especially when it comes to like my illness, being able to articulate what's going on inside my head which has been to my benefit, because then it helps my doctors more accurately be able to help me, with medication and with treatment. But when I learned Transcendental Meditation, I was able to, first of all, it lessened, I was in and out of the hospital once every 6 months or so in the beginning, because I was in the hospital in March of 2018. Then I was in the hospital in March of 2019, and then in October of 2019, and then in May of 2020. And then in 2020, so back, over and over and over again, I was going to the hospital. And then all of a sudden, I learned Transcendental Meditation in November of 2020. And then all of a sudden, I didn't go into the hospital again until December of 2021. I went that long without going into the hospital. So, and that was the only time after I learned Transcendental Meditation that I was hospitalized again after that. And it was 2 hospitalizations back to back, because I wasn't quite ready to leave the hospital yet. So I spent most of December in 2021 in the hospital. But I meditated the whole time that I was in the hospital. And they were relatively short stays, less than a week, possibly. I was in the 14th, and I was out by Christmas, between the 2 stays. So, yeah. And since then, I haven't been hospitalized since 2021. And so it's now, 2024, March 2024? And I haven't been hospitalized since December 2021. So 2.5 years. 2 years, just over 2 years. It's 2022, 2023. So just over 2 years. But I started going these long stints with just not being hospitalized after I learned Transcendental Meditation. Because it caused me to have this regulation that I just did not get without having learned it. The only problem is that it puts me in the world of David Lynch. And that can be hard. That can be really hard. Anyway, just telling you where I'm at right now.